Life can often feel overwhelming, can't it? With the constant noise, demands and uncertainties, staying calm and positive might seem like a distant dream, but it doesn't have to be in the midst of all the chaos. There's a quiet wisdom that has guided countless people toward peace and clarity for centuries. Buddhist teachings today will explore 6 practical lessons inspired by this timeless philosophy, lessons that can help you find calm and cultivate positivity no matter what life throws your way. These aren't abstract ideas, but simple, actionable steps you can start using right now. And here's something to look forward to. Stay with me until the end, and I'll share a bonus tip that ties everything together in a powerful way. Let's begin this journey toward a calmer, brighter life. Lesson 1. Mindfulness is the key. Consider yourself having a bag of regret from past and bag of worry for future. It's exhausting, isn't it? This is how many of us live, weighed down by thoughts that pull us away from the only moment we truly have, the present. The key is that in mindfulness, you put down those bags. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, being aware, and without judgment of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. Whenever you try to live in the present, you let go of the past mistakes, and you give up the idea of future uncertainties. You live life as it happens, not what is or what could be. Start small. Here's a simple mindfulness exercise. Pause and take a deep breath when inhaling. Take careful note of the air reaching your lungs and of the sensation of air being filled into them. Take it in for a moment, then breathe out of your mouth as you breathe. Let your attention dwell on this experience, rising and falling, the sound of your breath, what your body feels like. You could also do a mindfulness check-in. Out of courtesy to all, take a few moments to observe your surroundings. What do you see? What sounds do you hear? What is the air like on your skin? This practice helps you get out of your head and into the now. Mindfulness doesn't erase life's challenges, but it equips you to face them with clarity and calm. By staying present, you reclaim your energy and find peace in the now. With consistent practice, mindfulness becomes more than a technique. It becomes a way of living. Lesson 2. Embrace impermanence. Turns out everything in life is changing all the time. Seasons change, relationships progress, and those of us, are not necessarily going to be the exact person we were a year ago. Buddhism recognizes an ever-changing nature of life and names that impermanence, or anicca, that may sound unsettling at first. After all, if it doesn't change, it stays, and vice versa. So we hold on to what we love for when we actually allow ourselves to be permeable to impermanence. That is one of the most liberating truths impermanence teaches, that none of our joys or our struggles will ever last. It brings us back to appreciate that life is in a constant state of flux, and every experience is just a transient wave. It can be such a good thing, because when we find ourselves in situations of difficulty, this perspective really helps us to stay calm, because we know that pain, like everything else, is temporary. We shouldn't fight change or fear wanting loss, but rather should be able to accept that as natural in life. Imagine a hard time you've been through, maybe a home run, a breakup, a layoff, or even just a bad day at the moment. It probably felt overwhelming. Pain faded over time and life was carried on. This is the action of impermanence. No storm lasts forever. Learn to practice gratitude for the present moment. Enjoy your happiness. Realize it won't last, and it's so precious. Sometime during an ordeal, remind yourself that tomorrow will bring its own trouble. Nature really is a teacher, as you watch the leaves change colors in the fall, or watch a flower bloom and fade. These cycles are patterns of our own lifetime. When we accept impermanence, we learn not to hold on to things we cannot change, and we learn to find serenity with the rise and fall of life. It means that every moment comes without fear of change. It can be embraced. Lesson 3. Cultivate compassion for yourself and others. Compassion is a soft, gentle light, softening the sharp edges of life. It's picking up on the pain in people's faces in their words. Never mind your own, and choosing to empathize with kindness rather than gunk compassion is one of the highest vert in Buddhism, because it has an effect of waves through to the community by transforming not only individual people but entire communities. Most times we are kind to others, yet how often do we extend this kindness to ourselves? So many of us are our harshest critics, replaying mistakes and thinking we're not enough. But compassion begins within. When you start to treat yourself the way you would a friend, you set the ground for positivity and emotional balance. Understanding that compassion for others is equally as vital as big. But when you use empathy to approach people, whether they're irritating or painful to you, you start to see the struggle and humanity in them. This doesn't mean being okay with bad behavior, but it does let you go of anger and bitterness, which are also bad for you. Connection through compassion brings life's isolation down a notch and makes life feel more connected and more meaningful. The practice of becoming compassionate is a simple meditation practice. Take a deep breath and let it out as far as you can, letting your body relax with each exhale until you are sitting comfortably, closing your eyes. Imagine someone you care deeply about and who you want to see happy, healthy, peaceful. Keep silently wishing that they be free from suffering. May you be filled with peace. Shift then your focus inward. Imagine a warm light surrounding you as you repeat the same wish for yourself, but first free from suffering. May I be filled with peace. Last, stretch this compassion out to someone with whom you would find yourself struggling, or someone with whom you have little relationship, and extend the same words. This practice softens your heart and helps you let go of negativity, bringing a little more compassion into your life. Compassion isn't limited to doing, it's a state of being wherein doing heals the person who does it, as well as the person it is done to. But when you grow it, you become more. You live in a life of deeper connections and continued positive energy. Lesson 4. Practice detachment from negative thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts are lighter, more like fluffy clouds, whereas at other times the clouds are heavy with stormy thoughts, and it's a difficult time to see. Usually we've gotten too caught up in the storm, griping about our bad thoughts like they own a piece of us in Buddhism. We're taught to watch our thoughts but not get entangled with our thoughts. The practice of detachment helps us loose the grip on our minds, and we can decide how to answer, rather than getting plunged into each thought. When we practice detachment, we start to realize that thoughts are just thoughts. They're not facts, and they don't have to own us. Negative thoughts, sarcasm, anger, fear, etc. can happen, but doesn't have to stick around and find a home in our mind. Just by observing these thoughts, without measuring them or gaining attachment to them, they pass as naturally as clouds in the sky, move across the sky, an easy way to start practicing. This is with a visualization technique. What if you were sitting by a peaceful river? Every thought is a negative thought. Every one of them is a leaf floating on the water. Whether you're remembering something you've done in the past and wish you hadn't, or you're preoccupied by what you're about to do, or you have a self-doubt about something you're going to attempt, visualize putting that thought on a leaf and seeing it float by downstream. It drifts away from you some more until it is out of sight. By doing this, you train your mind to see thoughts for what they truly are: temporary, fleeting, and powerless over you, unless you choose to hold on to them with time. This practice helps you release negative thoughts with greater ease, replacing them with a calmer, clearer state of mind. You don't have to hold on to every thought that comes your way by practicing detachment. You allow peace to return naturally. Lesson 5. Breathe to anchor yourself. When life is chaos, your mind invades with stress. It is hard to center yourself. The simplest and most powerful tool to regain calm comes down to your breath in those moments. But we forget that breathing is something we do all the time. You can immediately center to yourself and feel peace in this present moment by just focusing on your breath. The secret to this practice is to be anchored by your breath when you find yourself in situations creating stress or anxiety. Slow your breathing a bit and become aware. You don't have to change it. You just notice it. Take account of the air moving in and out of your body. You use your breath to bring your attention to something other than the distractions and worries fluttering your mind. It's a simple act of awareness that has an immediate calming effect because it brings you back to the here and now. Deep belly breath is a good use of breathing technique. First, find yourself in a comfortable seated position and put one hand on your belly, whereas as you breathe in through your nose, let your belly expand and fill with air. Take the breath hold for a moment and then slowly release your breath through your mouth, letting your belly go. Do this a few times and concentrate on each breath, rising and falling with the belly's rise and fall. Not just the mind, but also the body's relaxation response gets activated as we breathe deep, and it reduces the physical symptoms of stress through consistent practice of these techniques. You are conditioning yourself to continue. Go back to your breath when you feel like you're getting too overwhelmed. Eventually, this simple practice of breathing will teach you how to be present, calm, and shanti. No matter what is thrown at your doorstep, when you focus on your breath, you reconnect with the present moment, and that connection is the key to finding peace in the midst of chaos. Lesson 6. Accept what you cannot control. Let's talk about one of the most liberating lessons of Buddhism. We cannot control everything. Some things aren't up to you. Life comes at us unpredictable and can leave you sobbing on the floor. However, it is actually in that acceptance of what we cannot control that we become at peace with ourselves and release ourselves from torturing inner turmoil. Our suffering only increases if we resist or fight that in which we cannot change. However, when we learn to accept, we let go of unnecessary stress and give our lives space for calmness. It's not a question of acceptance, it's a question of yes. That doesn't mean you stop worrying about results or allow yourself to become negative. It's about facing up to reality and changing the way you respond to it. Letting go of the need to control of the uncontrollable allows you to save your energy and put it towards areas that you can control: your actions, your reactions, and your mindset. To finish, let's look at a real-life application of this lesson. Picture you are stuck in traffic, going to a key meeting. There is a building in you, the frustration, the wanting to rush, the anxiety that you will be late in this situation. You have two choices: so you can fight the reality and become more and more agitated, or so you can accept the situation as it is. Acceptance isn't saying, stop trying to reach your meeting. It's just understanding that traffic is not your problem. Once you start accepting this, the frustration starts to wear away. You might even hold your breath. Remember that you can't change anyone but yourself, and actively think about something calming like music, positive thinking, or simply attention on the pause itself. That's how acceptance changes your relationship to difficult situations. It doesn't solve the dilemma, but solves the problem of somebody suffering in resistance to that dilemma. This embraces what is beyond your control and brings you peace with what is in the present moment, and life more with less tension. The more you practice acceptance, the quieter your inner world will become, even when outwardly your outer world feels chaotic. As we conclude this session, remember that growth is not an overnight transformation. It is a journey. The wisdom shared today is not something to master immediately, but something to practice and embody over time. It takes patience, both with the process and with yourself. The key is to take one step at a time and trust that each small action will bring you closer to the peace and positivity you seek. As a bonus tip, be patient with yourself. Understand that you are on a path, and every day is an opportunity to grow and learn. To start this journey, I encourage you to reflect on one lesson that resonated with you most today, whether it's embracing silence, practicing gratitude, or letting go of the need to be right. Pick one and begin incorporating it into your life. Small changes, when practiced consistently, can have a powerful impact on your mindset and well-being. If this video resonated with you, please like and comment below, sharing your favorite lesson or any insights you've gained. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom and practical tools that can help you live a calmer, more positive life. Thank you for being part of this journey, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.